Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Holly and I decided to film a short Wip Chat. It'll be my first one and I'm filming this on Sunday night, April 14th. It is a little after 10 p.m. Eastern time and my roommate and I just got through watching the season premiere of Game of Thrones. I don't know about you guys, my roommate absolutely freaking loves that show. It's the one TV show. He has a very short attention span, and it's the one TV show where he actually gets like genuinely super excited when he knows he's going to be watching it. So do you guys watch Game of Thrones? And if so, did you like the first episode? I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. My only problem with this show is that there are so many characters, so many storylines going on. And this is the last season, so of course they're going to try and tie everything up. So it just seems like everything's going really quickly. And I'm saying this as someone who read the first 3 books, and I still get confused with the characters. Anyway, so I hope everyone out there had a really good weekend. My weekend was nice. For the first time since the beginning of the year, I had 3 days off. Saturday, Sunday, and I'm off tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm going to be telling you a little bit about myself, so I'll get into what I do for a living and all that incredibly boring stuff. And I don't have my pen. What did I do with my pen? I must have left it downstairs. Thankfully, I have, like, tons of other ones. I think it's in my bag. Anyway, so yeah, I hope everybody had a really nice weekend. Sorry, I don't multitask very well when I'm tired. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I apologize in advance if I sort of go all over the place, jump around to different things. That's just how my mind works. So, as you know, my name is Holly, and I am 45 years old. I will be 46 in October. I live in a small town in New Jersey. I always say that we live out in the middle of the woods in Piney Town. It's not really Piney Town. Oh my God, these drills are really messed up. I don't know what the hell I did. I was using my multi-placer this afternoon and I must have just lost my mind a little bit putting all these 310s down because they're all over the place. And there's gaps. I'll have to go back and fix this. I'm learning with the multi-placer. Today was the first time where I actually didn't make a complete mess using it. But this whole section is almost all 310s, and it was driving me crazy. By the way, I'm working on Gaia from Diamond Art Club. It's gorgeous. I'm having a really good time doing this. And I basically did this whole top panel since Friday. So I'm making progress. I'm quite happy with the progress I've been making. I've been sitting out on the back deck with my roommate during the afternoons and diamond painting while he watches terrible television. Speaking of terrible television, see what I mean about like going all over the place, jumping around to different subjects. Have any of you out there heard of a movie called Movie 43? Because Tom, my roommate, is named Tom. He decided to watch it. It was on Netflix. And it was one of those movies that was just so incredibly terrible. You actually sit and ask yourself, how the hell did this movie even get made? It was that bad. But my roommate just kept watching it. And there was all these famous actors and actresses in it, like Emma Stone and Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet and all these people. And it was just ridiculously terrible. But, so he watched that. See, I'm already getting distracted. Okay, yes. All right, we live in a small town in New Jersey. We live in a town, but our house is in the middle of this area that's surrounded by woods. So we do have neighbors, but only really one neighbor on one side that we can actually hear, and they're extremely loud and noisy, especially during the summer. The last 2 summers, they've been taking down some trees in their backyard, and it seems like no matter what time of day we go out there, because we have this big back deck, which is where we spend most of our afternoons and evenings during the summer. No matter what time of day we go out there, we would hear a chainsaw going because they were just constantly cutting down trees. I don't know how they have trees left in their backyard at this point. But yeah, so I live in a tiny little town nobody's ever heard of. And I work as a scan coordinator, also known as a retail integrity manager. And basically what that means is that when you go into a supermarket or a department store and you see all those signs and price tags on the shelf, I am in charge of making sure they are correct. It's not a very interesting job. It's not the job that I sort of envisioned having at my age, but it is a job. It's very stressful. To tell you about it probably doesn't sound stressful, probably doesn't sound like it would give a person anxiety, but it does. And we'll get into that more as I discuss more about myself. But diamond painting is a very good stress reliever for me. This was one of the reasons why I started doing this. I'm a big reader. Since I was a young child, both my parents were big readers. And it has continued throughout my life. And at one point in my life, when I was only working part-time, I would sometimes read 3 or 4 books a week. I don't do that anymore because of my work schedule and the fact that when I am home, my roommate likes to talk a lot. So I have a lot of things going on, so I don't get the chance to read as much as I would like. But I was looking for something because my anxiety level over the past probably year or so, if not more, has been steadily rising. 75% of it because of my job. So I was looking around for things to do to sort of occupy my mind, because as people who have anxiety and depression issues know, if you don't have something to keep your mind busy, your mind can go into really like chaotic kinds of places and you can't focus. And it would especially happen when I would be going to bed at night. I would try to go to sleep and all of a sudden my mind would just be all over the place and it would start worrying, and I would start thinking about things that happened like 5 years ago and stuff like that. So basically I was looking for something that I could do to keep my mind occupied, at least during my waking hours. I've kind of controlled my racing mind at night by listening to a podcast, either a podcast or an audiobook I usually listen to as I'm going to sleep. Because if my mind can focus on that, then it will relax and allow me to go to sleep. But if I don't have something to focus on, then my insomnia kicks in. So first I started doing coloring, which I still do and I still enjoy. But that's a whole different story, which I will probably tell you at some point. I had some problems with the whole coloring thing. And then I was on Facebook, which this seems to be the way a lot of people found out about diamond painting. I was on Facebook and there was an ad for a diamond painting site. It was Diamond Art Club, actually. It was one of those things where I think it was you pay for shipping and you get a free canvas. And I had seen other YouTubers, other colorists talking about it, actually. A Colorful Life, and from A Colorful Life, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels. She had started diamond painting, and I had seen a couple of her unboxings, and I thought it sounded really interesting. So when I saw the ad for Diamond Art Club, I jumped on it and started watching more and more videos about diamond painting. And I was pretty much hooked before I had even gotten my first canvas. So I was always a fan of color by numbers, like painting. When I was a kid, I did it with both my parents. And I used to cross stitch and crochet when I was younger as well, thanks to my mom. So it really appealed to me, and this is only my second canvas that I'm working on, but I am very much addicted. It's very relaxing, and I enjoy seeing something that looks one way, like the blank canvas without the diamonds on it looks one way, and then you sort of bring it to life, and that I find very satisfying. So that's how I got started in diamond painting. These like crazy freaking drills over here that I was doing with this is really bothering me, because I'm like, where was my head when I was doing this? Because usually if it looks like this, I would fix it right as I'm doing it. I don't know what I was thinking. I might not be using the multi-placer again for a while. My OCD tendencies are kicking in right now. Anyway, so like I said, I'm going to be 46 in October, and I am the youngest of 3 children. I have 2 sisters and a brother. Don't really have much contact with them. As I have told people who ask me about my family, we could have an entire, or we could, because it's not on TV anymore, we could have had an entire week on the Jerry Springer Show. So that's a story for a different time. So I took care of my father for 7 years, the last 7 years of his life. And it was a very difficult experience. I spent a lot of my teenage years also helping my dad take care of my mom, who had a lot of medical issues. So when I began taking care of my dad, although it was an incredibly difficult and stressful situation, it turned out to be one of the best situations of my life, and I don't regret a day of it, even when it was tough, even when it was bad, because I ended up becoming very close with my father, and it sounds very cliche, but he was my best friend, and he was a great man. And losing him back in 2011 was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. It sent me into a very, 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 very deep depression. And it's only been over the last couple of years that I've really sort of not completely, I think if you have depression issues, which I've had pretty much my entire life, you have them for the rest of your life. But it's only been over the last couple of years that I feel sort of more myself, if that makes sense. As I've mentioned, I live with my roommate, his name is Tom. I often refer to him, especially to people at work. He's kind of become legendary at my job because of the stories that I tell about him. I refer to him as Roommate Tom, so you will probably hear me talk about him quite a bit. He and I've been living here for almost 6 years now. He and I are like a old married couple. We bicker and we, go back and forth a little bit. But at this point, we know each other extremely well. And he's a really great guy. He puts on this sort of sarcastic, jaded appearance, but he's actually one of the kindest, most generous people that I've ever met. And we actually met each other at the exact point in time that we both needed to meet each other, if that makes sense. We were both in kind of bad situations. I was in an extremely toxic living situation. He had just lost his mother. We bonded over the fact that we both took care of our parents. And we actually met at my job because the store that I was working at, I am now at a different store. The store I was working at is 5 minutes from where he lives, where I live now. And he used to come in every day when he was taking care of his mom. He would be in the store every day. But we never really spoke. Because when I'm at work, I kind of keep to myself. I'm not very much a people person. And because of that, a lot of people, and I think with good reason, think I'm a bitch at work. And that's fine. I can't help that I have resting bitch face. That's just something that I have. And the fact that I don't like plaster a smile on my face and go up and talk to everybody, they just automatically think that I'm not very friendly. So he had seen me. I don't think I ever really noticed him. And then I had gone to New York City to meet. I had gone to a movie showing of the movie called Artifact, which was a documentary about the band 30 Seconds to Mars, Jared Leto's band 30 Seconds to Mars, and their sort of battle with their record label to release their album and to get released from their contract. And at the movie screening, I got to meet Jared Leto, and I had my picture taken with him. And Tom had seen it on Facebook, and he approached me to ask me if it was real, if I had really met him, and that's how we started a conversation. And then we started talking on Messenger, and then he, out of the blue, asked me if I wanted to come over for movie night. And he was alone in this house, this big house with his 2 dogs. And he was lonely, I was lonely, and there was a big part of me that said, this guy's weird. He's going to murder you. He's going to chop you up into little pieces and feed you to his dogs. But it was like fate intervened because I was not going to do it. And then I had a big fight with my boyfriend at the time. And he was really annoying me. And we had a fight. He had done something to piss me off. And I texted Tom and told him I would come over for movie night, thinking it would make him jealous. And cut to 6 years later, I'm living here now, and the boyfriend is no longer in the picture, which is a very good thing. So yeah, I know how incredibly fortunate I am. I went through a lot of really bad things, one right after another. It kind of all stemmed from when my dad died, and meeting Tom and moving in with him and his wonderful dogs was sort of the turning point of when bad things sort of stopped happening and good things started happening. So yeah. So what else can I say about myself? I consider myself to be a very boring person. I'm not a people person, as I've said. Before, like I said, I'm a scan coordinator, which is a full-time job at the store that I'm at. And when I got that position, I've had the position for about 3 years now. Before that, I was part-time. And I've worked for the company that I work for now for 18 years. And it's one of those situations where I did not imagine staying at this job as long as I have. But it's kind of at the point now where I know that I would never be able to make the amount of money that I make at my job at another job. And it was one of those things where I kind of got trapped, because when I was taking care of my dad, they were very flexible with my hours. At one point, I was working only 2 days a week because I was taking care of my dad, and we could only get the nurse's aide in the house like twice a week. So yeah, but it's a job. I am extremely fortunate to be employed. I'm extremely fortunate to be full-time employed at this company, because there's not that many full-time positions unless you are in management. Having said that, I do not like my job. It's extremely stressful. And as I said before, it doesn't sound like it would be stressful, but it is. It's just the way my mind works. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I typically am the only person in my department, and there's a lot of things that need to be done, and I don't have very much help. And one of the worst parts of my job is that I have to do what pretty much constitutes a double shift. Thursday, I will work my normal shift, which is 4:30 in the morning till 1 p.m. And then I turn around and come back in at midnight and work until 8:30. Because our ad changes on Friday, so I need to be there to drop the batches, which is change the prices. Basically, drop the batches mean push through all of the price changes for the weekly sale, and hang tags, make signs, that kind of thing. And nobody else wants to do the overnight shift, and because of the way we do the batches and do the price changes, it has to be overnight. It's just the way the company works. And nobody else wants to do it, so that leaves me to do it. And for whatever reason, and it's not even the lack of sleep, which sucks, because most times I don't feel like myself again until Sunday. It's, for whatever reason, I am so stressed out Thursday nights. I usually try to lay down and get a little bit of sleep before I have to go back to work, and I usually can't because my mind just starts racing. And that's when my anxiety kicks into full gear. So it's been very difficult, and has led me to many occasions of thinking, well, I should just step down from my position, which I would not lose my full-time status, but I would take a pay cut, because I just don't enjoy this job at all. And I always said that if it got to the point where it started to affect my health, that I would step down, and it has been affecting my health, at least for the last year or so. I just have to try and find a way to deal with it in a better way. I have a couple of friends at work who tell me that I care too much, because it's like, if you don't get something done one day, just go back and do it the next day, which is the logical way to approach things. But that's not how my mind works. I think, if it's not done today and I have to do it tomorrow, then that just means one less thing I can do tomorrow. And, anybody out there who has had anxiety issues understands the mindset. Having said that, the one good thing about my job is it's very structured. I basically do the same thing every week. I have my routine every day that I work, and I know what I have to do every day. And I do much better when I have like a set schedule of what I have to do. Yeah. This canvas is really easy to work with. I mean, like I've said, I don't have that much experience in diamond painting yet. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to start a channel, because most of the people that are on YouTube doing diamond paintings have been doing it for a while, and I wanted to sort of approach this from the perspective of someone who's just getting started and doesn't really have that much experience and is learning as I go. I watch a bunch of other YouTubers. Of course the regulars like Stitcherista, she's my favorite, And I love her. I could sit and watch her videos all day. It doesn't have to just be about diamond painting. I've watched her cross-stitching videos and her Nutrisystem videos and everything else. I just love her. And, you know, of course, Ella and Wolfpack and Mrs. Crochet and Coffee. So I was just inspired by a lot of people to attempt to do this. I'm not a stranger to YouTube. I have had a book channel, like a book review channel, for years and years and years. I kind of stopped doing it when the anxiety really started to get bad at my job, but I've started to go back to it now over the last couple months. But YouTube, it's very different than how it was when I used to be very active on it. Now there's just so many people, there's so many channels, and it amazes me because you can pretty much find countless videos for just about every subject you can think of. And yeah, so I know there's been a lot of uproar about not being able to do lives until you on a mobile device until after you have 1,000 subscribers. That really doesn't bother me because I don't know if I would ever do a live. I would find that to be a lot of pressure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'll feel maybe when I have made more videos and I feel a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, I prefer just to sit. Because I find it very soothing when I do my diamond painting and I'm listening to other people's videos. And I always said to myself, that must be really nice, you know. Basically have an excuse to talk to yourself. Yeah. So, I did a video with my unboxing for the majority of my China mail. I still have a couple more coming in. But I think I'm going to pretty much put a hold on ordering stuff from China for now. Because I'm just... You know, I'm still a little frustrated with myself that I went and I spent all that money without really investigating what I was doing. You know, not doing my due diligence and realizing that if you order a small canvas, chances are, and it's really cheap, if you order a small canvas that's really cheap, it's probably not going to look that great. It's probably going to be very pixelated. So I am pretty much, for right now anyway, I'm sure it'll probably change. I'm probably just going to stick with Diamond Art Club because you guys, let me tell you something. I have ordered so many kits from Diamond Art Club over the last month. It's ridiculous. If it wasn't with the sale, it was the buy one get one free sale. Then it was the buy two get one free sale. Then I was getting 20% off coupons, and then I was getting 15% off coupons. And then I've reached, because of all the money that I've spent, and oh god, I don't even like to think about how much money I've spent, but then I got up to like this ruby level or whatever. And when you get up to ruby level, you get a 25% or a $25 coupon off your next order. So I've just been going crazy. And of course, I love Mandy Manzano, so I've been getting a bunch of her stuff. And I have something like 5 or 6 kits that should be showing up this week. And this is before the restocking new release sale that's supposed to start tomorrow. I managed to get one canvas when they did the early release the other day, which I found very confusing. I didn't understand. They made such a big thing out of releasing it on April 15th, and then they turned around and sent the code to a bunch of people like 2 days before, but whatever. I was only able to get one of the paintings or kits that I wanted from the new release because the other one that I really wanted was already sold out, and I've heard that it probably won't be in until May, which is weird, but I've heard that they had a problem with shipping. So yeah. So, but tomorrow is April 15th. This is when they supposedly have a bunch of stuff that's been sold out for a long time back in stock. So hopefully I will be able to get the 2 Mandy Manzano kits that I've wanted for a really long, I haven't, well, actually, I was watching diamond painting videos for a long time before I actually bought one. So it was probably a good month and a half to 2 months before I actually like started doing it myself. I found it very relaxing to listen to people making videos about diamond painting before I tried it myself. I would sit and I would color listening to people diamond paint on YouTube. But lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. I do that a lot. You'll get used to it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I mean, I knew about Diamond Art Club, and I would always go there and look at the kits and say, oh, I'll never spend that kind of money on one diamond kit when you can get something for $2 from China. But yeah, so there's 2 more Mandy Manzano canvases that I really want, and I'm hoping they're 2 of the ones that's going to be restocked tomorrow. And if they are, I will get them and use my $25 coupon, and then my butt is not buying anything else for at least a month. And I know what you're thinking. You say that now. But I have to stick to it, because when I stop and think about how much money I've spent over the last couple months on diamond paintings, ugh. Anyway, but it brings me joy, you know, it makes me happy. It's very relaxing, and it's not like I buy it and it just sits there. I'm using them, obviously. So, and it's not like I'm going out to clubs and partying and spending money on alcohol and stuff like that. This is my vice. So, as a wise woman on one of my favorite TV shows of all time once said, treat yourself. So, I'm treating myself. And if you don't know, that's from Parks and Recreation, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Yes. Okay. I think that's sufficient. And I have parchment paper on here, and in this lighting I can't see where the end is. I think that's pretty much sufficient for my first Whip Chat. Like I said, and I just noticed, I think I put the wrong beads up here. I was very tired when I was doing this last night, so probably wasn't even paying attention. I'll have to look at that tomorrow. Okay, well, thanks you guys for watching. If there's anything specific you would like to know about me, leave me a comment. I have no problem answering questions. In fact, on my other channel, that used to be a big part of my channel, would be me answering questions from my subscribers. I enjoy it. And so if you have any questions, stuff you want to know about me, leave me a comment, and I will include them in the next video. Since I have the Diamond Art Club kits coming in, I will probably be doing at least one unboxing video over the next week, so you have that to look forward to. And yeah, so this is really turning out quite lovely. This was kind of difficult with all the greens, and I have another panel with nothing but green. But yeah, it's really pretty, and I like the sparkle. And I have my first square canvas, which is one of the ones that I unboxed in my first video. I don't know. I keep seeing people talking about people who really like round drills, which I like the round drills. Of course, that's all I've done so far, but I keep seeing videos from people who really do not like the square drills, and I'm hoping that's not going to be me. So what do you guys think? Do you have a preference? Do you prefer round or square? And what do you do when you screw up? Because, my God, this is gonna bug me until I fix it. I've got to sit and just like straighten all these drills out, because if I don't, it's gonna, my OCD is gonna go out into outer space. So, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I will show that I am the boss of myself, and I will make myself wait until tomorrow morning to fix these drills. Okay, anyway, so I hope you enjoy the video and listening to me babble, and as I go along, as I make more videos, I become more comfortable talking, so hopefully they will sound less scattered in the future. And I hope this angle was okay. This canvas and this light pad is kind of big, and it seemed like no matter how high I put my tripod, it didn't give me a better angle. But anyway, I hope you had a great weekend, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and also hit the little bell so you'll know every time I put a video out. So until next time, you guys, thank you for watching, and happy crafting.